Hi everyone. It is the continuation of first chapter of Elements of Civil Engineering, that is the introduction to civil engineering. So in the first chapter we have discussed there will be of a different classification of civil engineering branches. So in today's session it is the continuation from remote sensing and GIS. So remote sensing, it is the one of the tool, and GIS is also one of the tools in civil engineering. Remote sensing or the GIS is Geographical Information System. This is the newest tool which has been used for a computer based for mapping and analyzing the futures which is on events on the earth. Remote sensing is the art and science of making measurements of earth, and GIS is a computer based tool that will be used to for mapping and analyzing the tools. But remote sensing is an art of and science of making the measurements of earth, that will be used for measurements, and GIS use it for analysis. So this is the newest tool which has been used for improvement in space and technology. Availability of GPS, we can see there will be of different images which is representing remote sensing, GPS and GIS. So GPS is nothing but it is a global positioning system. So GPS is enhanced the scope of geographical information system. So if once we are collecting the global positioning system in terms of latitude and longitudes, that will help you to draw the map to do the analysis with the help of geographical information system. So with the help of remote sensing we can just take the measurements, and GPS that will give you in terms of directions. So once we are taking the measurements and the direction, then we have to use the computer tool like GIS, then that will give you the exact data. Nowadays what we are using in mobile phones or wherever, if once you want to search the directions or the locations, when you want to travel or to move from one location to another location, we'll use the directions in terms of Google Maps. So that Google Maps is developed from remote sensing, GPS and GIS. So what exactly we are using in mobile phones nowadays, that is belongs to GIS, Geographical Information System. So if you want to move from one place to another place, it has been completely mapped in a Google, then it can be used. See here, the good mapping technique helps to get required information accurately and quickly to effectively manage and monitor the available resources for optimal use. GIS is an high technical equivalent of map. It represents means to locate ourselves in relation to the world around us. It deals with measurements, mapping, monitoring, and modeling of geographic information around us. As well, what you are having the GIS, with the help of that, we can make in terms of different parameters like data quality and uncertainty. So that will be used to study the spatial distribution of uncertainty in different maps. We also test approach for visualization of uncertainty as a support tool for decision making. So finally, we incorporate the quality parameters in data documentation. Again, with respect to international standards, we contribute to the field of internet mapping and distribution with respect to the geo services like Google Map, and it also participate in the implementation of with respect to ISO standards, what we can see the International Geographical Data Standards. So as well, nowadays what you're having the computer science engineering, they also do image processing. So nowadays with the help of remote sensing and GIS, that will help you for advanced image processing. It can carry out parallel computing and massive data processing for the big data era. As well, with respect to theoretical and methodological studies in GIS, there will be a lot of research is going on that will help you to know about the interpolation which is needed for geodesic calculations in implementation of GIS tools. So in terms of GIS would not be so useful without validation of knowledge data. Means if you are not getting a proper data, GIS is not be valid. So if you are having a proper data, that will be validated in a tool that will give the accurate data about the field and the documentation as well as its quality. Then It is in a particular area within the research line of GIS and remote sensing methods, as well as its application has the highest degree of expertise. Okay, so this is all about the remote sensing and GIS part. So next move on to the structural engineering background. So when it is coming to the structural engineering, the all the structures constructed on this earth are subjected to various types of loads of different complexities which is acting on it. So we can see that there will be a lot of structures. We can see the PowerPoint presentation also, there will be a lot of figures that represents the structure is assembles of two or more basic elements such as beam, slab, column, truss, frame, shells, etc. What you are having beam, it is an horizontal structural member, and if you are saying column, it is a vertical structural members that has to support. So now it has been deals with requirements of considering design for limit states of collapse and serviceability. Structural engineering involves determination of support reactions, member of forces. So now you will study, after completion of this first module, when you'll go to the second, you'll study about the types of forces and how it is exactly acting. The same way in the first module, second chapter in itself, you're going to study the types of forces, but where it is acting, that you'll start it from second module. So that's what it says: the support reactions, member of forces, and the movements, as well as that may acting the deflection and the deformation. Deformation is, it is nothing but there will be of breaking, and the deflection, it can come back to its original shape once it is getting deflected for some distances. Deals with planning of positions of layout of different elements and design, determination of size, shape, and material of components, such as that safety serviceability requirements are not sacrificed, economy is considered. So the very important thing is the satisfactory the performance of structures requires the knowledge of materials. The main thing is behavior and selection of appropriate material while doing the structures. So the one thing is what is the material is used for construction, and the proportioning and the designing. These are all the very important part or the components of a structure. Repair, rehabilitation, and maintenance is part of structural engineering. The very important thing is you can construct a building, but the thing is not only the construction and give to the clients, but the end maintenance will come to the main part, how it is maintaining and how long it will come to the life of the structure. uh, that's why the very important is the behavior and selection of appropriate material for use it for construction, as well as the design. So dams, bridges, stadiums, auditoriums, multi-story buildings are analyzed and designed by structural engineers. The strength of materials, structural analysis, and design of structures will completely designed by structural engineers, and how long it can be maintained. So structural components such as matrix methods of analysis, finite element analysis, there will be of different tools will be used that will help you for the structural life. So move on to the next one, that is the surveying part. The next is the surveying. So surveying is an activity involved in collection of topographic features of collection of future construction. See, the first thing is, if you want to do any construction of any building, the part is the first we have to check whether the ground is leveled, or the same way if you want to make a proper layout, the first thing is the main part, basic work, or what we can say the beginning work, it will start from surveying of civil engineering. So surveying is a field of specialization which involves the process through which the relative positions of various points or the objects on the earth surface, that is to be determined in terms of horizontal plane as well as on vertical plane. The results of such process are represented in the form of map or in terms of plan. So what we discussed the previous one, GIS or GPS, or it may be the remote sensing. The first important thing is we have to do the surveying that will give us the measurements, that with the help of the datas, while doing the surveying GPS, there will be a tool which has been used again that will help you to get the positioning system in terms of northeast, in terms of longitude as well as latitude, in terms of elevation. So that will help you to do the surveying part. A plan is a geographical representation of various ground features as projected on the horizontal plane to some convenient scale. on a sheet of paper. The surveying is an essential work that will be, you can see there will be of objectives of surveying: execution of survey to collect the topographical data, calculation and analysis of data, and the plotting surveying data to create design of maps, provision of line grade and other layout works. So in olden days we'll be having only the chain surveying, compass surveying, theodoliting surveying, plane table surveying, and the leveling surveying. That all will be used to take the measurements. And we can say there will be of two figures here that represents these two are the total stations that has been updated, that will be used very much essential, that directly gives with respect to the company of the instrument. There will be of companies like Leica, Sokia, that one instrument will give that is based on the specifications. So for example, if you're using Leica instruments that can cover up to 8 kilometer stretch, so you can take the measurements for 8 kilometer distance at one shot. That says there will be of Sokia that can do for 6 kilometers or 4.5 kilometers. There will be of different specializations with respect to the specifications that will change, and that will help you nowadays. No, it is very easy to do the updation work, so that we can say it is an sophisticated instrument like total station. It is an electronic and electromagnetic as well as optical instruments tools which has been used, that will be help you for JS and GPS. So what I said previous one, it is the conventional methods, that as chain survey, compass survey, theodolite or plane table, that will be used for in olden days. Nowadays that is not required directly, they can do with the total station. That will help you to do with any part of surveying. Surveying is an essential work which is carried out in the beginning of any construction work or the constructional activity, such as if you want to develop an area, or if you want to make an layout, or if you want to construct transportation facilities like roads, or it may be of railways, or in terms of airways, or in terms of pavement construction, what I said for roadways, or in terms of construction of a structure, building, bridges, dams, whatever it may be, the basic part is surveying. So once we did with that, then it will be help you to do with the other work. The next is, or what you can say, the last part of civil engineering, or the last concept which we are not discussed, that is the transportation engineering. So transportation, in the name of it, we have heard about it, transportation. So if you want to move from one place to another place, the man or the goods, then the transportation will be used. The social and economic development of any country is a function of transportation facilities of which is available on the country. So nowadays we are very aware of it. Metro is there in the Bangalore, and it is widening nowadays for a longer distance. That will help you for the traffic congestion, that has been help you to grow the city. The same way that will help you for the growing of a country. That's what I said. Now the socio-economic development of any country, that is mainly depends on how exactly it is growing, or how long it will take. And the main function of transportation facility, there will be of different means of transportation, that is including roadways, railways, airways and waterways. So here the application of scientific approach, that is planning, designing, operation and management of transportation systems such as roads, railways or sea, or what I say, waterways and air transports. It involves planning, design, construction and operation, and the finally is maintenance of transportation facilities. In airstrip runways, roadways and railways, the study includes the design of payment system, as well as we can see the maintenance and upgradation of uh, docks, harbors, airports, railway system, based on the requirements as well as the population growth is a part of these disciplines. We can see there will be a lot of sketch that represents, there will be of transportation, how long it is moving. And we can see that two lanes of roads here in this sketch, that represents, it is the longest way which has been used in the US states from California to New Jersey. And so we can say that there will be a lot of vehicles which is moving. And you know the important of transport is what I said now, the different ways. The importance of transport services is mainly on economy, depends on several economic factors such as interdependence, mutual cooperation, and coexistence of different regions. Therefore, to integrate diversification of economical regions within the country and economics of the world, as well as developed a network of transport system of vital importance. So nowadays we are very about in actually what I said, communication. Again, it will belongs to the transportation system. The difference between transport and communication is that while the former implies the convenience of goods and the passenger from one place to another, but the later implies the convenience of information. The convenience of information is necessary for the development of industry. It is the very large network of communication media exists nowadays. This includes postal services like telegraph and the telephone, radio and television. So nowadays we know that how much it has been developed in terms of fax or teleservices. The responsibility of building and the extending the services is fixed to specialized departments and the agencies like postal department, telegraph department. But the communication network is also claimed to be formed under social infrastructure of economy. So the communication is also been servicing in the transportation department. What we are having the transportation that also do the exercises in integral to grow the influencing the economy of a country. So these are all the branches of civil engineering what we have discussed now. So in the next session we can discuss about all of you just go through with the video notes, as well as I'll just forward this PowerPoint presentation and the notes which I have already sent through the soft copy for the first chapter of the first module. So as well we have the next one is infrastructure that we can discuss in the next session. So till now we have discussed about the classification of civil engineering branches. Thank you.